Sean.
And we were muted. Let's try that again. What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And we are Hill City Paranormal, HCP Paranormal Podcast. Before we get started today, I want to put out a quick disclaimer. So we have like a horrible thunderstorm going on outside. So for some reason, we get cut off or anything like that, we'll be right back. We do have a generator. It just takes about like 32 seconds or something like that to kick on. But hey, Daryl, how are you?
Bedford.
That's right, Bedford Paranormal. Are you guys getting a storm out there? Let me know in the comments. But tonight, joining us is Spirit Xperience. I'm going to bring them on, Mike and Ty.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you guys?
We're great. So you have a storm going on, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
The thunder just kind of started a few minutes ago. So I got to put the disclaimer out there. We got dogs that'll bark, and like I said, if the power goes out. Where we live, it's like in the bottom, and if something even blows on the power lines outside, we're losing power.
Oh, wow.
So,
every time.
But like I said, we have a generator, so just hang tight. Don't give up on us. We will be right back.
Don't give up the fight.
Well, we're in Savannah. We have a storm heading our way. But
now, where are you guys from?
We're in Savannah.
Okay.
Georgia. Yeah.
One of your favorite places.
Y'all are in my home away from home. God, I love Savannah.
Come see us.
We're there at least once a year. We did switch it up this year, though, and we went to Charleston. We try to visit on our family vacation. We try to go to a historical location, and we kind of stuck to Savannah, 3 years in a row?
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, let's switch it up. And then while we were in Charleston, Sean looked at me and said, I think we're going to go back to Savannah. Not that there's anything wrong with anybody.
We would love for you to come and see us, but of course, have you been to St. Augustine yet, though?
We have not.
Okay.
Hey, Ronnie.
What's up, Ronnie?
So, yeah, I do want to go there because I definitely want to go to the Keys and see Robert the Doll.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
So, But Savannah, Georgia, tell us a little bit about Spirit Xperience, because I know there's several teams in the Savannah area. Hey, Paige.
Oh yeah, there's lots of teams here. There's like we do investigations, but we also run a paranormal walking tour. So
okay.
We take people 4 nights a week, every Wednesday through Saturday. We go out and we give a tour. Now, there's lots of tours, as I'm sure you're aware of visiting Savannah.
Oh yeah,
tons of tours. There's no shortage. But we try to do something just a little bit different than most tours do. We have worked for other companies, and they're great at what they do. But we want to do something a little different. What we do is we only offer 1 tour a night. We limit the number of guests on our tours. And we share, of course, the history and the folklore. And, we're good storytellers. But the main thing we like to focus on is we actually conduct mini investigations on our tours. So we take the time. That's the reason we limit the number of people to be able to interact with them and help them. And to only have 1 tour a night, so we're not rushed. We say we have a 2-hour tour, but I don't think we've done a 2-hour tour yet. Usually we'll have 3 hours, depending on the activity that we're getting.
Right.
And so the guests seem to actually love it, and we love doing it. I mean, we get to conduct mini investigations, 4 nights a week. So that's awesome for us.
Now, do you guys have a specific location, or is it different locations, or?
What we do, actually, we offer 2 different tours. One of them is closer to River Street, the main street there in Savannah. So it's a little more hustle and bustle. So we only do that one on Wednesday and Fridays. Then we have one we call the Monterey Square Tour, which is actually out a little further squares away from all of the hustle and bustle. But at each one of those, we stop at about 5 to 10 stops at each one of those. And, like I said, we tell the stories, we give the folklore, we share the history, and then we actually pull out paranormal equipment and see if we get any activity there. Of course, we don't get activity every spot great every night, but we stop at enough locations that so far we've been fortunate enough to at least pick up some pretty interesting activity at a few spots every night.
And consistent.
Yeah, consistent, yes.
And so this is all done outside. Like you pull out K2s, you pull out the REM pod, whatever you guys utilize for that.
Right. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. We'll have to definitely check that out when we go into Savannah.
I think that's awesome. You know, a lot of walking tours. In my opinion,
Look at the building.
that I've been on. Look at the building. This is where Mary and the lady in the white. You can see her through the window. Next, we have the building where you see the man who walks across the window. Like, let's stop and investigate and see what we can get. Like, I like that.
And the tools we use the spirit rods.
Okay.
So we put those in the guest hands. We don't touch them. It's all about them and their activity. So,
Absolutely.
they're having the experiences.
But of course, we also use EMF readers and places where we go to that we know there's activity on the stairs outside. We'll set up cat balls and use spirit.
Sure.
So we use various places we know to use different kind of equipment. So it's of course it's not a full investigation, but for people who's never done anything like that before and probably only seen it on television, it's a great experience for them for sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Michael, Shonda from Fredericksburg Paranormal, and we've got Ryan Jones from the freaking awesome paranormal show that airs at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays following our show. You got to check them out. Awesome people. So our first experience in Savannah was we jumped on a investigation with Truth and Evidence at the Savannah Theater.
Right.
And I had one personal experience there, which was kind of weird. I was hoping that it was caught like on their CCTV, but I don't think that was ever like caught. But like we were in the dressing room and like something pulled the back of my shirt, like real fast, which they had just got done saying that there's a gentleman that likes to kind of mess with women in that area. So that happened. They had the portals set up, the mini portals set up with the spirit boxes going. Of course, we had our own equipment, but I did feel like there was a lot of people there. So there was a lot of contamination, and it was like every location or every like spot in the theater that I wanted to go to, somebody else was in. And obviously out of respect for them, I was like, okay, we'll go to a different spot. So I tried going kind of off the beaten path, like where they didn't tell us the hot spots were. Cause I find on investigations, a lot of the time I go for the opposite. If you tell me to go here, I'm going there. Just because, how do you know that the spirits aren't like, F this, I'm out of here. Like these people are crazy. Like I'm going to go hide in this stairwell that nobody ever talks about. We don't know that. So, but everybody was on edge for that investigation because there was a lot of like new people. And so there were some kids that were screaming and things like that. So it made it kind of hard. But we did have a good time. I will say we did have a good time. Obviously being in a historical theater itself was awesome. And that's what we look for. Whenever we go out of town, we try to jump on somebody's tour. 1A, we believe in supporting local. 2B, any chance to investigate, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's tough. We host public investigations here, in Lynchburg, where we're from, Lynchburg, Virginia. And I mean, I have to put the disclaimer out there from the jump. Like, I cannot guarantee ghost interaction. I wish I could.
Right.
But I can't. And we also talk a lot about other people's energy on your tour. So if you have somebody that's kind of standing back, arms crossed, negative, like this shit ain't real, you're less likely to get stuff, in my opinion. What's y'all's opinion on that?
Absolutely. We run into that quite frequently. Unfortunately, it seems to be in some of our locations that other individuals who are with the tour are able to get interaction, but that negative feeling that comes up, yes, absolutely. We do. I agree with you. I think it does affect the spirits. I mean, just keep in mind, they're just human beings in a different form. And if you come up being a butthead to me as a human, I'm not going to interact with you. What makes you think I would interact with you as a spirit in that manner also? It just doesn't make sense, right?
I agree with that. I do. And sometimes I want to just ask them, like, why are you here?
Yes.
I really do. Like, why did you spend the money on this ticket if you were going to be like this,
Yes, I agree.
But I mean, to each his own. Obviously, we welcome everybody. I love it when skeptics jump on our tours. Like, well, I don't want to call them tours. We don't do a tour. We do an investigation. But I love it when a skeptic jumps on. Those ones that are like, oh, I don't believe in this crap, but my wife drugged me down here. Or, I don't believe in this crap, but my kid wanted to come or whatever. Because by the end of the night, chances are something happened that kind of changed their mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there. Like, there's definitely a difference between a skeptic and just a negative Nancy.
Right.
Like,
Yes. Yes, we have those that come on the tour at the beginning. Oh, I don't believe in the paranormal. I'm here, like I said, from a wife, from a child, or whatever. And then about midway through the tour, you ask them, well, how are you liking everything? Just like, well, this is pretty neat. What's going on here? I can't really explain it. And so towards the end of the tour, we won't say, as you know, we haven't made believers out of people, but maybe they open their mind a little bit.
Right.
Yes.
And you just experienced that recently with a skeptic, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
They didn't. They explained to me that they didn't believe in the paranormal until something that they could not explain happened. And it's actually, to me, it's a beautiful thing when a skeptic now believes. It's a beautiful thing when, again, I always explain to people, it's not my job to convince you that anything's paranormal, because honestly, we don't know what's paranormal, what's not. My job is to basically guide you and help you along, show you some things, help you debunk things that you think may be, that's not. And basically, that's what all we are, guides. We help you along.
Yes.
I don't try to convince anyone of anything. I just help you along the way and try to show you what I know. But I never try to convince anybody or sway anybody. But it is a beautiful thing when people come to you and have changed on their own based on the things you've shown them or allowed them to see.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
I think go ahead. Sorry.
One word I always use is I never say this is paranormal activity. I say this is interesting. It's interesting that we asked for this interaction, and on command, it actually happened. It's just interesting. So that's something I say over and over again to, folks. Now we go on with our other paranormal team, Living with the Paranormal, of course, we all believe when we go on those investigations.
Yeah.
And so, with those, of course, like I said, we go in and try to debunk first. But at those, I don't say it's interesting. I go, I think we actually got something here,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of businesses and a lot of private locations.
Yeah.
So, those are a little bit different than the investigations that we do with our guests. Yeah.
Right. Of course. Howie said, jumps up on the stump and chills and watches. All right. Paige said, ghosts and spirits don't always want to come out and play. I agree with that statement as well. Ronnie said, I have people, they don't believe and I offer to change their mind, but they always decline my offer. LOL. So I say they believe, but they are just scared. LOL.
Ronnie, that's a good point. I think that a lot of people who say, I don't believe in that stuff, let's invite them to come spend the night somewhere in a haunted location. I guarantee they won't do it. And
it's okay to be scared. It is okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being scared. If you're not afraid of something, then you're not human. People
That's
say
right.
that you're not afraid of something. I'm not saying that we're afraid of, what we do. We get afraid of what we do, but it's okay to be afraid. People just say you're scared. Don't say you're a skeptic. Just say you're scared.
Yep. John Sullivan, Fredericksburg Paranormal. Howdy. See
John in the house.
We will see y'all in a couple days. Can't wait because we just found out we can leave earlier than expected. So we will be meeting up with y'all. We're all heading to Gettysburg for the Warren Seekers Paracon.
Oh, cool.
We're looking forward to that. But I want to talk a little bit about, to those that are listening that are planning on going to Savannah. A lot of people might be sitting back going, y'all pull equipment out outside. But what a lot of people, and I'm actually going to let you tell it. What is Savannah? What is it?
You'll hear in Savannah, first things out of people's mouth is, we are built on our dead.
There you go.
And we literally, you'll be one of the couple of squares we go to, but one of the squares we go to is formerly Calhoun Square, now Taylor Square. It's actually a Civil War era cemetery is what it is. That's been built over. So we're literally standing in a cemetery, and that square by itself, there's so much activity there. And you see that time and time again in Savannah. You're never far from a corpse in Savannah, and that's not just bolstering up Savannah. That is the God honest truth.
Savannah is very active.
That is true. We did hear that. Yeah, we heard that a lot. And, I found out recently that a lot of the time when they were able to actually identify the bodies, they would contact descendants of the person that was buried there and ask them, like, do you want to relocate? But it costs somewhere in the tune of like, 50 grand to relocate a body. Who has that?
Right.
If I'm under a town and you're getting ready to build a parking garage, like I wouldn't expect my family to drop $50,000 just to move me. Like I'm already in the ground. Leave me alone,
Well, I'll tell you something else to consider in Savannah. I am a licensed plumber, and we've been told when digging in downtown Savannah, if we find any kind of bones, it's an animal. Just push it out of the way and keep going.
The animal.
Yeah, because if you say anything, they'll come in, shut the job down for who knows how long and investigate. So there's numerous times that these things just kind of get pushed to the side, and that's commonplace in Savannah.
Yeah, I can see that. Daryl said, I went in the paranormal field as a skeptic and had my mind changed by a personal experience. I think a lot of us actually have some skepticism still in us, even though we've had personal experiences as well. I know several people like that went into the paranormal field as a complete skeptic, and they just kind of went out of curiosity and then had that personal experience or that wow moment or that holy shit, what was that moment? And then all of a sudden now they're a believer. Howie has 3 questions. Have you encountered Minerva as of yet? Am I saying that right? Minerva?
Yeah, well, Minerva. Her actual name is Valerie, and she's passed away, and no, we haven't come across her spirit.
What about Pirate Captain Levette?
We don't go to the pirate house.
We don't go to the pirate.
All right. What about any encounters with John or Lady, is it Chablis?
Chablis. Well, Lady Chablis, of course, she's well known in Savannah. Very entertaining lady. She's passed away also. But as far as I know of, no one's encountered her spirit in Savannah. Now, John, I'm not sure who John is.
Jim? It might be, and yes, if it's Jim
Williams. Oh, if it's Jim Williams, yes. We communicate with him on our tour, actually. He's very active at the Mercer Williams house. He will come out and meet us at the gate. We'll have EMF meters to be sitting there on green. I'll start telling Jim's story. They'll start pegging out on red, just sitting in the sun.
Wow.
Yeah. Jim loves to hear his story told and loves to come out and interact with the people. He's a good entertainer, even after.
Yeah. The same energy Mr. Jim had when he was living. He was boisterous and outgoing and had parties and was outspoken and like to hear people talk about him, like to be top of society. He's still the same way now. If you talk about him, he definitely gloats about it. He's a very proud man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Ronnie said Savannah is beautiful and I'm sure haunted, but to do any kind of private is almost impossible. Plenty of tours, but privates are rare. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No. With private, you would have to talk to the owners of the property themselves and get in there. And it depends on how you ask. It depends on how you treat it. It depends on how you're going to broadcast it. A lot of older homes and owners will let you go ahead and go in there as long as it's just for your research. They don't want to brag about it. They don't want to boast about it. A lot of the mansions are okay with talking about the paranormal, and that's part of their drive to bring customers there. And then the other side of it, private homes, again, it all depends on the person, the client that you're talking to. If they feel comfortable with you and they know that you're a private person, you're not going to blast their stuff out in public and talk about them or their home, they have no problems with that. Savannah's how would I put it? It's an old city, but everybody knows everybody's business and everybody is very proper in the way that they divulge things. Yes, it can be a lot of gossip around town, but a lot of people just prefer their life to be quiet and hush hush. So a lot of things, if you talk too much in Savannah, unfortunately, you won't get as far within the societies.
We got somebody in this group that sounds a lot like Appomattox there, Daryl. Ronnie said, thank you. I'm looking to go south for the winter. Ronnie, you will not be disappointed. We, for some reason, tell each other every year that we're going to Savannah when it's cooler. And for some reason, we end up there dead smack in the middle of July. Hey, we're crazy. We want a death sentence.
Awful time.
Yeah.
Last year was not too bad.
Last year we went like during, I think it was a storm or something that was going on around us. So it was about 80 degrees. I was in heaven.
Yeah.
The year before, it was like 110 every day. I was about to die. But it's still, I noticed too in Savannah, you can go off the beaten path and do your own investigating around the city after hours. We were up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning at the squares. We were just different places throughout the city with some equipment doing our own investigations around town.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, people can definitely walk around and nobody says they have anything when you're doing like 1 or 2 or even 3 people. It's when you have large groups and you don't have the proper credentials on you that they usually will stop and say something to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, River Street at 3 o'clock in the morning is pretty interesting, actually. After hours when everything's shut down, it's pretty interesting down there.
Very interesting after hours. Savannah is quite different.
It's very different. It's a whole different experience going on River Street when everything's shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Different experience, period. Like, I remember going into a place and getting a drink, and they were like, do you want it to go? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? And they were like, yeah, you can, like, she poured it into a red Solo cup, and she's like, you can take it. I said, in my car? And she's like, aren't you walking around? I'm like, wait a minute, I can walk around with this drink? What? So that was like just an experience in itself because it was so like relaxing just to kind of walk around by the water, enjoy the atmosphere, have like one drink, relax, chill, things like that, and Sean's a cigar connoisseur. So smoking a cigar, having a drink, man, he was in heaven. You couldn't tell him nothing.
No.
Let's see. Howie said, have y'all ever had any encounters with Emma Kelly?
I'm not sure who that is.
Emma Kelly.
Who's Emma Kelly?
He said his mom and dad were close friends with Emma and the lady, or Ann Lady. Howie said East Coast, New Orleans. That's on my bucket list. I do want to go to New Orleans. I've never been. In my early 20s, I definitely wanted to go to like Mardi Gras. Now I just want to go to the cemeteries.
I went, but it wasn't for paranormal purposes. I didn't get there.
Well, of course, Savannah has the 3rd largest St. Patty's Day celebration in America. Last year, we had 1.5 million people here. Now, if you like everything turned green and 1.5 million intoxicated people, it may be for you, but I don't advise it.
Is that what, do they turn like the river green?
But all the
fountains, or is that somewhere else? I heard they do that somewhere.
Well,
they turn
the fountains and everything, they turn green. Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's actually cool. Hey, Mike and Sam.
Mike and Sam, what's up?
Ronnie said we always end up in Ohio in the butt crack of winter. Why? Why would you go colder?
It's just like us in the summertime. We're in the deep south. Why do we do it? Why do we do this to ourselves?
Howie said, I will take y'all to a place that will blow your mind. Road trip 2025. I'm down.
I hear y'all saying that, so I'm going to hold you to it, Howie. We say this stuff in podcasts, but we need to start doing this.
Mike and Sam said, are they secrets or can you share? Howie said, send me a request. Let's talk. Ronnie said, I went to New Orleans last July. Why? Why would you go? See, Ronnie, you're backwards. You're going colder in the winter and hotter in the summer. Let's see. The Chicago turns. I knew it was somewhere that turned the river green for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, you too, John. Why you laughing?
Yeah.
We supposed to be playing the trip too.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, John, Sullivan, FPRI. All these teams in here that we supposed to be getting up together with. I'm going to hold y'all to it.
We're going to do it. Yep. 2025. We're hitting the road. Let's do it.
Mike and Sam's one too.
Yeah. We got to go talk aliens with Mike and Sam.
Yeah.
Area 51's on our bucket list. I don't go south in the summer. Too effing hot. I agree. Go to NOLA about November. All right. Ed, Mike and Sam are going to send you a request. Let's see. She will have her license and she will be good. All right. John, holler at us on Friday. Add us on there.
Yeah, I get you working on locations, but Hill City with Hill City.
We had the meeting, John, by the way, that me and you were discussing, where we had to kind of sit down and let people know, hey, team meeting, this is what we're doing in 2025. We did the murder house on Rampart Street, Ronnie said. That's cool. Is that in Chicago? And then Mike and Sam said they're already packed and ready for Area 51.
All right, we're going with you.
Yeah, pack us too.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to Area 51?
Well, since you brought that up, there's something that I've been curious about since I was a child, pertaining to UFOs. Actually, I lived in Perry, Georgia, which is in the center of Georgia, and I remember I was probably about 10 years old. So we're talking a while ago. We were in the drive-through line at McDonald's, and we're pulling up to get the food. And south of us, where Cordell, Georgia, would be, was a ball of light. And coming from it, what looked like light smoke rings is the best way to describe it. But you could see it was coming from many miles away, and it was coming through, and it actually went through us and past us and kept going. And I've always wondered what the heck that was. The newspaper came out the next day and, of course, said weather balloon. But I've always wondered. So if anybody knows what that might have been, I am so curious to this day to what that was. I still remember it vividly. Because I had never seen anything like it since. It's just amazing.
If anybody can tell you anything about ufology, it's Mike from the Mysterious Mike and Sam. That guy knows his stuff. We have a team member on our team that's into ufology. I wish he was here because he could definitely probably answer that question too. But Mike can probably tell you. Mike, I don't know if you heard that. Ball of light in where?
It was towards where it was Perry, Georgia, which, let me tell you this, Warner Robins would have been behind us, which is the times where the SAC team was at the Air Force Base. So there is an Air Force Base, but this was in the opposite direction of that, towards Cordell, Georgia, which is about 30 miles south of Perry.
Yeah, Mike, can we explain a mysterious ball of light? That's the question of the night.
Yeah, with the light coming from it. I mean, it continuously did that. Yeah, it was radiating from it. It just kept coming and coming.
Every single time there's something in the sky that nobody knows about, it's a weather balloon.
That they literally put that in the newspaper, weather balloon. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, no, that was no weather balloon.
Every time.
They tried to say the Mothman was like a weather balloon, didn't they?
Usually they'll let us know when there's a weather thing or something going to be in the air, comment something. But then when we don't know about it, oh, that was just a weather balloon.
Paige said the LaLaurie Mansion is up for sale in New Orleans. Probably for millions in New Orleans.
That's the real co-op we need. All the teams need to pitch in and buy one of these places.
Yeah. We all need a haunted location.
And then Ed Odell said something about Tabby Island, one of my favorite beaches.
Tabby or Tabby, because he said is Vamp Central. Are you talking about Tybee in Georgia?
Tabby Island?
Because Tybee Island is one of our very favorite places. Paige said the LaLaurie Mansion is 10 million. Here I was thinking it was only like $1 million. No, it's 10 million, y'all.
You do know that there's an atomic bomb that went into the ocean right outside of Tybee Island that's still there that nobody's located. So there's something to consider. There really is. That's well known that a plane was flying and they had to dump the atomic bomb they were carrying. Dumped it right off the coast of Tybee, and it's been sitting there since the 1960s.
Wow. I did not know that. I just know that Tybee is beautiful. The water is great. Weather is always gorgeous. And there's not a whole lot of people, which I was super surprised about, being that it's like a tourist attraction, you know?
Oh yeah.
And that's dead smack in July. Hey, Dennis, shout out Cabin on the 360. And
Mr. S-Lock.
He said it's ball lightning. Haha. Let's see, Ronnie, you need to investigate the Myrtles Plantation, St. Francisville, Louisiana. I want to go to Louisiana. Let's go to Louisiana. Sounds like fun. All right. So aside from tours, you said you also have a second team that you do like your own investigation with, correct?
We're named Living with the Paranormal. We do investigation. We do private investigations, which of course we don't talk about those. But just recently, we went to the Hayward House over in Bluffton, South Carolina, and we did an investigation there, and it was pretty interesting. We're actually giving a lecture next month for the Hayward House, and so we're going to go there and give our findings, not just to them. They wanted to give it to an audience. So we're going to go and do that. Of course, answer any questions about the paranormal. But there is it was a neat place. We had some pretty heavy duty things happening upstairs and also in the slave quarters that's connected to the property. So that was a really neat investigation.
I think that's interesting that they're having you like present the evidence publicly. A lot of locations are like, don't say anything until we see it and clear it, and don't post it and don't do anything with it. I've got so much evidence I'm sitting on because I can't even get the location to write me back. I'm like, hey, I've got evidence for you, and can't get a response. And I'm just like, all right, we'll archive it. Let's see. Mike and Sam said, John, it was fantastic when we went there a few years ago. Hope to go back in fall. Ronnie said, John, we did it a few years ago. Great location. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
So what is your favorite piece of equipment to use on your tours?
Actually, on the tours, our favorite piece of equipment is actually just spirit rods, because that's something we can put in our guests' hands, show them how to use it swiftly, and they actually are sitting there holding it. And what I call interesting interaction, if they can get it to hold just perfectly straight, and they're sitting there the whole time, and then we ask for them to cross, and they go and cross and uncross and point in various directions. I think that's really neat, because we can't exactly fill out Boo Bears and REM pods and all that the whole time, of course. That's for investigations, but just keep it simple. I find the simplest tools are the best way to go, especially when you're dealing with people who, sit there and try to explain to them each piece of equipment and exactly how it works, that take a while, and maybe they wouldn't comprehend it properly. But them holding these sticks in their hands that are moving on command is something they can experience and see for themselves,
Right. Plus, it's on the more inexpensive side. I feel like, I actually recently, Sean just talked to an investigator that had an Ovilus that he lent out to somebody. They dropped it. Ovilus is broken. Anybody that knows, the Ovilus is $600 piece of equipment. So I wanted to cry for this gentleman. Like I really did. I was like internally crying because
he bought that piece of equipment from me.
Yeah, and we gave it to him for a steal, but I mean, that's an expensive piece of equipment. So you can get dowsing rods for like what, Sean, $20, something like that. 15?
I think I paid $14 for mine.
So if they do grow legs and walk away, if in the event they are to break, like they're replaceable.
Right. It's sort of like EMS readers and things like that.
Yeah.
Cat balls. I mean, you're talking $10-$20 for
exactly.
It's not that big of a deal.
Exactly. And nobody wants to listen to Boo Buddy for that long. Lord. No. We have a Boo Buddy, and I've got about a 10-minute patience level with him.
Well, for people who do want to experience it, I do let them use the spirit box, but I can't stand the thing myself. But it's not very conducive to being out on the street and using, obviously.
Yeah, we found it's best when we're, on Publix to hook it up to like a Bluetooth speaker, just because, you can't hear crap on it.
Right.
It used to be my least favorite piece of equipment, and now it's actually grown on me because I've gotten some really compelling evidence off of the spirit box, just like really intelligent, dead on responses. So now it's starting to grow on me, but I understand that.
Well, you're trying to explain to people what they're supposed to be listening for and whatnot. And so it usually doesn't work out well with people who don't understand the equipment,
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
In crowded areas and people are talking and bus traffic and taxi traffic and every other traffic, horse and buggies. Yeah.
And so, of course, EVPs are kind of a hard thing to do also with that in mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that can be rough, but the good thing about the EMF readers and the dowsing rods, people seen that on every TV show. People have seen it. It's common. You can pull that stuff out, and people, the Boo Bear, not so much. People see that and like, what is that? And then, again, the level of explanation you have to do with some of the equipment we use is you're going to take all night explaining that stuff. So keeping it simple is definitely, I'm with you on that. Yes. We use simple equipment when we do our events as well. We try to keep it as simple as possible so I can give a brief explanation on it, and then you can take it out and roll with it, and I can guide people on. So, Good job on that. Actually, I'll commend you guys on that, and I definitely commend you guys on offering a walking tour that allows investigating. Because a lot of walking tours, and I'm not knocking anybody who has them, by the way. I want to put that disclaimer out there. I'm not knocking anybody who does it, but me personally, just saying, Sean, I want to put that out there because a lot of people like to take things and run with it. So I'm gonna say, Sean, speaking for me, I get bored to death with walking tours. I want to investigate. That's me. I'm the investigator. So if I have a walking tour where I get to investigate, that's like awesome to me. And the fact that y'all offer that is definitely a step above. I think that's incredible that y'all do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How?
We
So
wanted
being go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I said we just wanted to be an experience for our guests.
Right.
Well, I mean, we always tell them basically we're on their time, you know.
Right.
So however long they want to walk and talk and communicate with the spirits, that's how long we stay. If you want to, they were ready to move on or activity dies down, then we'll go someplace else. You know, and for me, I like the rods simply because they're not electronic and it's in their hands, and there's nothing that we can that anybody can say or think that we can interfere with anything too as well.
Even though we've been accused of it,
Yes,
they say,
yeah.
"What y'all have something to make them move in this manner?" I'm like, "It's copper. What could I possibly have?"
Lord.
You're always going to get people that accuse you of stuff, and that's fun as well. Hello, D Downs. You're always going to get those people that like to point fingers and accuse you of stuff, but it's the ones that get to actually experience something, that weed all that negative stuff out. There's always going to be somebody negative, especially in this field. There's always going to be the negative people around, the non-believers and naysayers. It's life. We got to deal with it. We deal with it as well. But moving on, how much do you guys, being that you host your own paranormal walks and stuff like that, how often do y'all get to investigate yourselves?
Well, with our investigation team, we try to do something at least once a month. Is our goal as an investigation team, and then of course we do some private investigations. But really, on our private investigations, when it's dealing with families and homes, with those, we don't really go in to investigate. We have people coming to us saying we have something going on and we want it gone. And so in those situations, we just go in. But of course, we have to decide what kind of spirit we're dealing with to find out how to help it move on.
Or even if it's a spirit,
Yeah.
if they need some mental help or some counseling of some sort. Sometimes it's just people alone or they're suffering from depression and anxiety. Sometimes it's nothing but that, but sometimes there are spirits and we have to decide.
Well, we go in there, if it's a negative spirit, we don't ask it to leave. We tell it to leave. And if it's a human spirit, we try to help it understand that it can move on from this realm.
Right. So you guys cleanse.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mike used to be, he's Mike's ex-reverend.
Okay.
So he used to be a reverend. So yeah, we do that. We do the cleansings. We do,
And go ahead where you said what I am to let them know what you are. Yeah.
what am I? Who it is? I'm a beacon. The spirits have been drawn to me since I was a child. So, and we want the people to, whether it's our guests having a great time or whether we're helping somebody remove something out of their home, we want them to always know that we're there for them and that we're always there. Pick up a phone, talk to us, have questions. It's just who our nature is. And the stuff we do for private homes, we don't charge anybody for.
That's right.
We just go and do it. And there's been times we've had to go back and do it again.
Somebody's asking me read energy pretty well. Yeah.
Yes. He's more of an empath than I am.
Yeah, but I can't. She picks up on all these spirits all the time, and I can't do that. But yes, I can pick up on the feel of our crowd, pretty well. But
Sure.
All right.
yes.
Now, of course, I've got to ask you guys are husband and wife, right?
Yes.
ma'am.
So did you know that each other was into the paranormal when you met? Is that how you met? Or
Oh.
you had no idea?
No, we met online and we fell in love rather quickly and we decided to get married rather quickly. But I was kind of, because this has always happened to me since I was a kid, I've always had spirits and weird things happen around me that I thought, we're going to sit down and like tell everything about everything, put all the cards on the table before we get married. I might want to say, mention this.
Hey, I'm a crazy ghost hunter.
So I told him, and he was acceptant of it. I mean, he kind of told me a little bit about his past with spirits as well. The only difference between us at that time really was I was still very faith driven. My husband at the time had left the church and wasn't faith driven at all. He was kind of frustrated with the Christian God and would swear a lot at him. So I still loved him and I would still marry him. But at that time, as in the Bible says, or the Christian Bible says, we weren't equally yoked. So when we got married, a lot of activity right after we got married happened, and it wasn't a good activity. There's a lot of negative activity that surrounded us for about a year. And we had to fight it off together. And then things calmed down. So, I mean, it still happens from time to time, but not as drastically as it did. But that's how we came into the paranormal. And then as things calmed down for us and we got back into our faiths and it just became something we were willing and interested in doing. I mean, we watched other companies do it, and we've both been on those tours where you just walk and they point out and say, yep, there's a ghost in that window. And
Everybody stop and pull out your phones now.
Or they'll hand you the equipment, tell you how to use it, and that'll be the last time they even hardly bring it up at all.
Or they say that they have equipment and they only have the equipment for them to carry. So they don't have equipment.
Yeah.
We actually recently had a guest that said they signed up for a tour where they actually charged them for the equipment. And it's just EMF meters. They charged them $7 to rent.
I heard that. There's a tour out here like that in Lynchburg.
I haven't heard about that.
The Lynchburg walking tours charges, I think, $12 to rent the spirit box.
Oh,
wow. Or something. Yeah.
Well, note for everybody, if you jump on a tour with Hill City Paranormal,
we loan you the equipment in good faith.
Exactly. Yes.
I've never had a piece of equipment grow legs, so
not yet.
Let's see. Somebody's asking if we do tours. Yes, we do tours.
Yes. So go ahead. I'll let you go ahead one more time.
We do tours in Savannah, Georgia. We're Xperience LLC. We run tours every Wednesday through Saturday at 8:30 p.m. in downtown Savannah, Georgia. You can go to our website, be www.spiritexperience.com, and that you can get more details. Or follow us on all our social medias for Xperience LLC everywhere.
Howie said we can do way better than that with the whole renting equipment thing. Ronnie said, "Are you kidding me? Charging?" Yes, Ronnie.
Let's talk about it. Everybody who knows our show and who's been on it know we talk about everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the drama, and everything. People, if you're watching this show, if you're hosting a walking tour, I get it. Everything, people charge, everybody does things to make a living. There's ways to make more money. However, there's one thing that we need to hold is, we talk about para-unity a lot, especially we do. But let's talk about integrity, people, not just for ourselves, but for what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. Ed Odell, you want to go there? You want to keep going? You want to keep going there? We will. But we need to talk about integrity, people. One thing that we're trying to do is build a positive reputation. If we're nickel and diming people, number one, the one thing that we're going to do is that we're going to become those people who talk about, well, those ghost hunting people are nothing but money grabs. It's not real. That's one way that leads to us being fake is by overcharging people. No, Ed, you don't have to stop. Yeah, I'm actually glad you and Ronnie and everybody brings this stuff up. If you're going to host these walking tours, you got to have integrity. You got to give some. You have to allow people. Times are tight. The economy sucks. Let's give a little bit. And I believe that Spirit Experience does this. On their own. And we're not talking about y'all, but let's bring up the price of stuff and giving. We shouldn't be out here charging people to rent equipment. So those of you who are listening or watching, if you're dealing with a company that's charging for equipment, avoid them.
Yeah.
You heard it from me. If you're dealing with a team or a company or equipment that's charging to use equipment or charging extra for this, avoid them. Go around them. There's other teams and companies out here that's not doing that. And if you get mad at me for saying that, I'm sorry. I'm a douchebag.
I agree with you 100%.
Avoid them. We don't need to be charging people extra money to use our equipment.
Right.
I even go a step further. Even though we charge people to go on our tours, a percentage and a pretty hefty percentage of what we do goes back into the historic location we charge to investigate at. A lot of the reason why we charge a little bit more, and our ticket prices are fairly cheap. People have even come to us and said, Sean, you should be charging more. And I tell them, no, I'm fine with a percentage of my income that we make going back to the location because it's a nonprofit organization.
Yeah,
and it's preserving the history of the location. So, I'm not making a killing off of our tours. Or not tours, but our public investigations. A lot of it is for the sole reason of people wanting to learn more about paranormal that don't get a chance to do it. And a lot of the money goes back to just helping them repair tombstones or helping them repair buildings or upkeep of the museums or getting more artifacts for the museum. So again, y'all heard me say it. And if you want to be mad at me, that's okay. I speak my mind here, and we touch on everything good, bad, and ugly. If teams or companies are out here charging you to use equipment, avoid them. There's a bunch of other people that's doing these walking tours and investigations.
Well, I do want to clear it up really quick. Despite what you think, Howie and Daryl, it is not Go Stop. I went ahead and I did hear that, so I wanted to clear up my own rumor. And there is 3 different walking tours in our city. One charges for equipment, and that is U.S. Ghost Adventures. They come out and emerge in Lynchburg, Virginia, and I say emerge because I've never seen them. I've actually gone downtown at the meeting time before because obviously you want to know who your competition is, right? So I'm like, who are these people? Like, where did they come from? They just kind of popped up like, hey, we're doing walking tours. So, I got nosy and didn't see anybody meeting at the meeting spot. I don't know if they're legit, but it's U.S. Ghost Adventures. And so I got on their website and hit book now. 1A, they charge $29 for 1 hour. Children above the age of 6, so 6 and up, 6 to 18 is $19 for the hour. And then it is $7 to rent an EMF detector. And then if you want to extend your tour by 1 hour, you have to pay an additional $7. And if you want to take home a ghost plushie, that is $7. That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. It's not a ghost. It looks like a. Can y'all see this? This is Chewbacca.
Yeah. Hey,
that's
the tour company one we're talking about in Savannah.
I think so.
That's the same one. It sounds like the exact same layout. The lady.
I wanted to put this. Hold on. I'm gonna fix it. There you go. Rent an EMF detector for $7. This is usghostadventures.com for those that are looking, and it'll clear up in a second. I am blurry. But yes, I went to all of them and hit book now. Ghost Adventures. Ghost Stop. I do not see an add-on button to rent equipment, but U.S. Ghost Adventures, I do.
We're blurry again.
We are going to stay blurry. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it.
You're fine. Well,
Are we still blurry?
Who knows?
A little bit. You're okay. I think you're okay.
It's messing with my eyes now.
Yeah.
That'll help you.
Howie said, my bad. Didn't mean to get you started. Ronnie, I know a team that pays a location for private investigation and then plans an event on that night, charges $99 to $135 a ticket and sells 50 plus tickets, pockets the profit. It's a disgrace. Call him out, Ronnie. Call him out.
Call them out.
Howie, I know, but US is connected. I did not know that, Howie.
I did not know that. But thanks for putting that out there.
Yeah. Yes. Boycott those fuckers. I could stand out there with picket signs.
Sorry, Reverend. We do have.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, it's fine.
We're uncensored. We are uncensored.
Well said,
Yeah.
brother. Money is not why.
Yeah, former reverend.
Yeah.
We are uncensored. Just letting you know.
I am a saved individual. I am a Christian.
We are too.
I don't know why I'm still blurry.
Yeah.
He's
Maybe
a
Stop the camera or change it.
I don't know. Let me try to stop cam. Start cam. Still blurry.
Yeah, we might be blurry for the rest
All
of the show.
right. Well, we got a few minutes left.
But
Let's help people.
I do. It does piss me off when people try to do money grab in this paranormal world that we're in, because it hurts us when companies are out here doing that. Most people who jump on a ghost tour, a walk-in tour, or a public investigation have never done this before, and they have a genuine interest, and we're here to guide them and teach them. And when we're just pickpocketing every piece of money we can get out of them, we are hurting the paranormal field really bad. And it pisses me off. And that's why I talk about it. I don't care who gets mad, who wants to unlike us or unfollow us because of it, because the real ones know. And I think that it's a damn shame that there's people out here doing that. People, ghosts, whoever's
U.S. Ghost Adventures.
whoever's doing this, stop it.
Well, Michael Brooks said they operate in multiple cities: Virginia Beach, Richmond, Williamsburg.
That's
And
the same
then-
thing the lady showed me the other night. They're here in Savannah.
But I can't
Yeah.
believe $29 for 1 hour.
$29 for 1 hour, and if you're 7 years old, you got to pay $19.
Well, we charge for
2 hours, technically.
up to 4 years old, completely free, of course, and then 4 to 11's basically $20, and then anything that and up is $30. But you're
Right.
probably getting, I know you're getting 2 hours with us, and probably more than that, depending on how long you want to stay. We'll stay as long as you want us to stay.
Right.
Yeah,
See, and
we're-
we operate the same way. There's a lot of I'm gonna get to the rest of these comments in a second because I'm over here chuckling at Shonda's right now. But we stay over on ours. If we're getting activity, there's a lot of the times that, my group, because if we sell out, we split off into groups to make smaller groups, and my group will be done. And I got to go find Sean, and he's like, shh, we're getting activity. All right, have fun. Let's see. Hold on. D said those people are not true paranormal enthusiasts. They're all about the money. Yes. And the problem is they're going to run the location into the ground. If the location is not able to pay for maintenance, upkeep, and things like that, it is what it is. Yes. Thank you, D. We do have a flat rate. We keep it at that. We don't charge for our equipment. Ed Odell said, well, we can do something in 2025. Insert sinister chuckle. Ronnie got in trouble by Daryl. He said sorry. He got pissed off.
It should piss you off.
That's right.
It should.
Ronnie said he's heard of U.S. Ghost Adventures. Shonda said they didn't pay for the plushie. I don't know what that is. That is not a plushie. That's a Chewbacca. I don't know what that thing is.
Something
Carrie, hey, shout out to Carrie. She's one of our team members. She said it's all about the research, not the money. There's always somebody in it for the wrong reasons. There is, Carrie. There is. Howie said, hey, Carrie. Carrie, hey, hey. Oh, Chuck's here too. Chuck is another team member.
What's up, Chuck?
Up Chuck. That's
Chuck.
terrible.
Redheaded stepchild.
That's right. That's right. But
yeah,
next time we come to Savannah, I definitely have got to get up with you guys.
definitely.
We wander around the squares anyway, so why not wander with some friends, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely support you.
Shonda says she carries him around in the investigation. Wait a minute. So you got a free plushie from these people? I got to know. Because she said she didn't pay for the plushie ghost. Howie said we're taking a road trip. So Howie's jumping on with us. Oh, Shonda got a free plushie. Shonda, you were one of the special ones because they are charging $7 for the plushie.
Jeez.
Was it free or was it a 5-finger discount?
Shonda, did you swipe the plushie? We need to know.
Shonda.
We're invested, Shonda.
Yes, Shonda, we have to know.
I was young.
We have to know now. How did you get the
What? Michael got one. Now I'm upset.
I know how Michael got one. He gave him that look. That look that Michael gave me, he gave it to them and they just gave it to him.
That's funny. Robert said, I have some people ask, how do you charge for services? And I say nothing. What? We just want to help.
Yeah, of course, private investigation or investigating for people.
Yeah, we don't, not for private.
Never charge for that. I mean, they're always free.
Yeah.
Always.
Sean and I just drove 8 hours up the road to go help a bar owner out that was having some problems. You know, that's completely out of our pocket. We did it for free, and I don't need a pat on the back for it. I'm down for a road trip anytime. I got to investigate a historic location for free. That's how I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we were in the bourbon capital of the state. Like, who can't deny that, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm usually the one that asks, for going someplace if they have a coffee pot. I mean, I'll supply the coffee. They just need a coffee pot.
That's Carrie on our team. Carrie needs to know if there's a coffee pot.
I mean, that's the only thing. I'm like, is that coffee pot?
Shonda said she did not 5-finger discounted. It was December, and they were the only ones on the tour. Well, that was nice. That was nice of them.
Nice.
Ronnie said, hey, Shonda. Howie said, Mike and Ty, please send me a friend request. He is Ed Odell on Facebook.
Okay. I think we might already be friends, but I'll do it again. I think I recognize the name. But
Shout out the Orion Effect, by the way.
Well, let Ed know. I'll be sending under the name Punk Rock Mike. That's my personal page. I'll send him.
Punk Rock Mike. Yeah. Paige said, take donations. I mean, we would take donations, but essentially that's like how we do. So we do a 3-hour investigation, and then a lot of that goes back into the cemetery. So essentially that's what you're doing, is donating to historical preservation. Howie said, I'm going to send you a pic from the fort just outside of town. I don't remember the name. It was back in 87. Howie, you're telling your age.
Probably Fort McAllister or Fort Pulaski.
Mm-hmm.
It really confused people. Ronnie said, Shonda, it was great meeting you. Enjoyed talking to you. We got left out this weekend. Carrie said, always the coffee, lifeline to get through 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, it's Howie Odell. We met in 2019 Bash.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the 2019 Bash is.
Was it a punk rock bash?
What I tell you,
it might be. Howie like
it's kind of blurry to me anyway. So,
well, guys, when you get older, your memories start going.
Well, no, it was other things causing my memory to go at the time, but
he's laughing. John said same here, Ronnie.
A lot of things
yes.
The hat, Robert says. What, Howie? What? Why am I being yelled at? I'm being yelled at by Howie. Your phone's about to ring in 5 minutes. I'm going to cry. I get scolded around here for picking. But as you can see, I am in his father voice. What?
Not the father voice.
Now I'm in trouble. I'm just going to go put my nose on the wall in the corner.
But I definitely, when I'm coming to Savannah, I'm definitely going to hit you guys up.
Yeah, for sure. As you can see, all of our groups here are all about
para-unity.
Para-unity.
We all try to work together.
And
that's right.
Yes,
we do. We do.
Very awesome.
At least the ones that I know. Now I don't know a lot of them. These guys that you see in the chat know way more groups than I do. But the ones that I know and talk to, we all try to stick together and work together. And hopefully by that example, other teams will try to follow that as well.
That's right. And see, that's what we don't want to do, is what Ronnie just said. He said a few years ago, the Avenel took donations to investigate. There was a guy that scheduled an investigation, charged the people to investigate with him, and he pocketed the money.
See, stuff like that makes me it makes me sick.
Especially when places like that work off of volunteers.
Yeah,
That drives me insane.
That's like terrible. It's terrible for people to take advantage of a nonprofit organization that's working on volunteers.
Yeah.
We have to think about it this way. Some of these people that invite us, they may be skeptics themselves and then also see us as scammers or charlatans. And then something like that does happen. And that's just like a triple whammy for them. They don't trust the paranormal community at all.
Right.
It's awful. And my personal opinion is I like that you say unity because I think you can learn something new every day from somebody. And somebody's going to have a different opinion than you. But if you're open to those opinions, you're growing.
That's right.
You're new and you're growing.
Absolutely.
I mean, just because I do stuff this way and somebody says, have you tried this way? And if I'm not totally closed off of that, I'm never going to grow.
That's right.
My company is not going to grow or our company is not going to grow. And, I won't be able to give my guests new knowledge. And it's about growth.
Absolutely. I mean, if you ever watch our podcast in the future, you'll see that just about everybody in this room that's watching has a different opinion. And it's every week. Somebody will disagree on something. And I love these guys because of their difference of opinion, I've investigated differently. I've looked for different things. Ronnie and Anderson and I go back every week about different things. Ed Odell and I have disagreed on different things. But because they disagreed with things and ideas that I've had or thoughts that I've had, it caused me to look at my evidence different. It caused me to investigate different. It caused me to research different. So because I have true friends that'll tell me, no, Sean, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's this. Because of that, it's caused me to look a little bit deeper into things. And I've actually will say that I've grown as an investigator and caught different types of evidence because of them not saying, oh, yeah, I think that's what it is. And then get on the phone with their friend, like, I can't believe Sean thinks that's what it is. So because you have true people like that in your corner, a pair of unity, because you have true people who will tell you what their belief really is. And because I have enough respect for these people to say, maybe they're right. Let me take another look at it. It's helped me grow tremendously. And that's why I love it. People, again, you heard me say it here and I'll say it again. You can get mad at me all you want to, but yes, we can agree and still be friends. We can't disagree on something and still move along and love each other.
Well, some words I hate in the paranormal field is one of them's expert.
Oh God, yeah.
We don't use that term.
We're all out here trying to learn this together. Yes, we're learning. Right. Like you're saying, if we don't keep our mind open, if we say, well, this is just the way it is, I like to say, he who only knows one side of the story knows very little of that. And so I take things into consideration, somebody debunking it may be a method I'm using. Instead of just going, oh, no. Instead of, like you're saying, look at it and say, they may be right. And then maybe something new will grow out of that.
Yep.
Right. The thing about the paranormal world.
Ronnie said, here it comes.
Orbs are real, Ronnie.
I seen them.
But yeah, the thing about the paranormal world is that there's so many different aspects to it. It's science, it's theory, it's logic. It's so many different things to it. So, when you have a lot of different people who have different thoughts and opinions to add to it, it makes it a beautiful thing when you go to do your own research. You put all that together. And again, if I didn't have so many friends who were who supported us and who was in it, I probably would still believe that everything I saw was paranormal, to be honest with you. If I didn't have so many people who disagree with me, I probably would honestly believe that everything was what it was. So,
I look at it a little differently. I went to school for philosophy. And so I look at the paranormal world as a metaphysical aspect of it, something beyond physical. And, we talk about the science of it. To me, philosophically, we look at things. Philosophy looks at things before science takes it over. And so I look at it as we're looking at it, working all these theories, trying out different things, trying different ideas, putting ideas out there, having people debunk them. And then eventually we'll get to a point where we can turn this over to science and they'll be able to record data and whatnot. But I feel at this point, we're still in the philosophical stage of this thing here. We're just learning about it and working out these things.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Mike says, if you hear someone call themselves an expert, get your money back and run.
Right?
Right?
Paige said there's lots of theories and hypotheses. What was that?
Yeah, hung up on that one, huh?
The H word. Synonym. That's what I used
Hypothesis.
to say. The hypothesis is. Okay. Out there, and I agree. You have to have the science with the spiritual. We don't know shit about the paranormal, Howie says. And after that, now Howie's completely laughing at me. Not only am I in trouble, now he's laughing at me. There's hypotheses and synonym all over the place.
If you talk to Courtney long enough, you're gonna laugh.
Lord. Carrie said, I agree, Ed. Well, look, Mike and Ty, it has been absolute pleasure. I know we're out of time. The rain's got me obviously not able to talk. We're blaming it on the no. Howie
fell off his chair.
His chair. Not his chair. His chair.
Is that his new ass chair?
What is that, Howie?
That's what I'm gonna say from now on. My chair. I'm gonna go sit in the chair.
That's Southern spelling at its best.
Sitting in my chair.
You're sitting in my chair. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I promise you. We love Savannah so much. I will look you guys up the next time we come to Savannah.
Sure.
And we come during the week, so your schedule is phenomenal.
Perfect.
I love it.
Thank you.
I
so
love
much.
it.
Thank you.
Hey,
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, you guys. I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We're with Hill City Paranormal. Mike and Ty with Spirit Experience LLC.
How do we find you?
Yep.
On social media, anywhere, Spirit Experience. In case you're listening and can't see the name going across, we're Gen Xers, so of course we spell experience with just an X, not an E at. So it's Spirit Experience LLC for legal reasons. You can find us all over social media, or just put a www.com after that, and it'll take you to our website.
Perfect. Everybody go give them a like on Facebook. Spirit X Experience LLC.
And everybody who tuned in to watch again this week, we love y'all.
We do love y'all.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.